Good afternoon, or should I say good day to everybody that is listening or watching online. My name is Terran Murray and I am the host of the Parentpreneurs podcast. This afternoon, I'm interviewing somebody that I met at an event. To say that her work ethic is very inspiring. She is a lovely soul and she definitely knows how to capture a picture or two or three or four. So this afternoon, I would like to introduce to you Lex Fleming. How you doing, Lex?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How is the family doing?
They're okay. We're good. So we added to our insane family in June. We had a little boy in June.
Yep.
And then I've got two stepchildren. So my partner has two children from a previous marriage. So there's 5 of us in total. I also have our dog Wednesday down here. So if I'm like stroking,
oh, cool.
just down here checking what I'm going to say.
Cool. All right. So Lex, what is the business that you do? What do you do?
Okay, so I've been a photographer for over 20 years.
Yep.
But about 13 years ago, I kept being asked to photograph weddings, and I was like, "Oh, it's not for me." And I eventually photographed a wedding and realised that they are so much fun, and in one day you can kind of encompass so many different styles of photography. And so I started Fleming Photo 14 years ago and never looked back.
Wow. So was it just a thing where like you just felt that you saw somebody do it, or did you actually have the love for photography before?
100%. So I started as a music photographer when I was about 16.
Okay.
And worked for about 5 years as a music photographer and tour photographer. This is long before Instagram, before bands and artists realised they needed a personal photographer. I almost left just as that kicked in, which is a real shame. So I was a tour photographer for a few years, and then I started up a portrait studio myself, that I would go to people's houses and do sort of makeovers and portraits. And I think that was when I started to understand the business of owning a photography company. I think I had the love of photography there, but not quite the business or the marketing brain. Right. So then when I got into weddings, and I was initially very put off by weddings because I thought they were too traditional for me, too lace and ivory and not very inclusive and all of this sort of stuff. And then when I started shooting weddings and realised that there's this whole industry of couples doing it exactly how they want to kind of have their wedding, I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing, weddings, and sort of still doing portraits and family, but mostly weddings.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned that you've recently had a baby. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I wanted to know, how old is baby?
Baby has just hit 4 months.
4 months.
He is going through the lovely sleep regression.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. So yeah, 4 months. And I sort of initially went back to work on a very loose basis when he was 6 weeks old.
Right.
So I kind of, wedding season tends to be April to October, November.
Yep.
And then when we found out we were expecting, and I was expecting right in the middle of a wedding season, I was like, how's this going to work? We've managed to make it work so far, and I'm looking forward to having, some time off with him for the next few months. Okay.
So, and you also mentioned that you've got some stepchildren as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah. I wanted to know, as you've got like a big family, I wanted to know, how do you go about spending time with your family and working on your business?
Such a great question, and something that I don't think we'll ever get right. And it just has to be something that I think in like small periods has to work. So what's working for us right now is my partner gets home from work at about 6ish.
Yep.
We have sort of an hour and a half when we have 50-50 with the stepchildren, so they're here half the week. We'll have dinner together, we'll do bedtime, and then pretty much from about 8 o'clock, I will go and try and do a few hours work down here in my office. and then my partner has baby. So at the minute it's like working in the evenings. I then work every Saturday, so we kind of tag team the childcare. So I'll do school runs and the evenings before he gets home from work.
Yeah.
I'll go and work on Saturday, and then we always have Sunday together. So I will never book anything on a Sunday, so that we can go out, all of us, with the dog. We usually go into like a forest walk or a picnic somewhere, come rain or shine. The kids are very used to it now, so that's good.
Okay.
But just to try and like get away from TVs and laptops and all of that sort of stuff is the plan on a Sunday.
Okay, cool. So when did you feel the time was right to leave the job that you had? And how did you transition from being employed to self-employed?
I love this question. So I got lots of different pieces of advice, but the one that stuck was, if I can save my salary for 6 months from my employed job and work on my photography, if after 6 months I hadn't really needed to touch the employment salary, then not only did I have 6 months salary as a backup for, so I could kind of make it work for 6 months as a worst case scenario, but it also proved that I didn't need this other job. And I did 6 weeks and then I quit. So
fair enough.
I didn't actually follow the advice, but I made it work, and it's like the best decision I made. I was at that point I was working, I think, 3 days a week in a school. I was a teaching assistant in the creative arts department.
Right.
I was still able to do my work on the weekend, so I was very fortunate that I could kind of run the two for about a year, 2 years alongside each other. But when I realised that I didn't really need the employment money, and it was just, I felt like it was just dragging me down a bit. Like if you work in a school, the school politics is
I'm blessed to say that I work in schools part-time myself, as a music teacher. So I get to go into the school roughly about, let's say 12:30, and then our lessons don't start until about quarter to 10 to 1, and then I do 3 lessons of teaching music, and then it's like I leave the school at about 3:30. So I don't really get myself involved in any form of school politics at all. I go do my job, say hi to 1 or 2 people, and that's it, leave.
Yeah, it's an environment, that's all I'll say. It was a lot, and I think I'm not very good at like wearing too many hats. So I think in those final years where I was like having to go in and be a teaching assistant, all I was wanting to do was email my clients or like, do some marketing or whatever. Yeah. And it just got to the point where the lines were getting too blurred, and I had to make the decision, and I'm so glad I did. So glad I did.
Yeah, I can definitely sympathize with that one as well, and you made a really good decision as well.
I did. Yeah, I think I remember the day that I made the decision. So I'd started this like 6 months. I was like, right, if I can do 6 months, it would have meant I would have left just before wedding season hit. So I'd have left and gone into jobs. Yeah. And I did 6 weeks, and there was just an incident in this school where one teacher had like said something negative about me to another teacher, and it got back to me, and I went upstairs, I went to the computer, I wrote my resignation letter and put it on my head's desk and was like, I'm off, I can't do this. So I left before Christmas, which in hindsight, when you're in the wedding industry, is tough, but the fact that I survived that and I survived COVID, so I feel like I could do anything now.
Fair enough. Good on you.
Yeah.
I think maybe that particular incident had to happen on purpose for you to be pushed into that direction of you being a full-time photographer.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is really scary. Like, my partner is employed, and we have his like monthly pay, and I haven't lived like that for such a long time now. Yeah. there's a huge comfort in that, to know exactly what's coming in and what's not. But then I love the hustle of being self-employed. I actually am a bit addicted to it, actually, I would say, of like, right, I want to buy that, so I'm now going to spend 2 very intense weeks with my marketing and hustle. I'll invent something, or I'll find a service and I'll push it out there. And then I'm like I love that nature of being self-employed. I feel like
that's really good. That's really good. Right. So I wanted to know, has there ever been a time where everything has got too much with work, or you was on the edge of burnout, and how did you sort it out?
Oh, it's a great question too. I think the nature of the wedding industry, because it is so intense for 6 months, and then you don't do anything for you say you're not going to do anything for 6 months, but that 6 months is websites, marketing, wedding fairs, things like that. But you have this really, really intense 6 months where you're shooting a year's worth of work essentially in 6 months. I think it's fair to say every September I reach a point where I'm like, I just want a weekend off. And I think through the years of these like little mini burnouts every September, I've really learnt to manage my diary. And so I really try and build in 1 weekend off a month. To kind of be a bit of a circuit breaker for that month. So like it can be really, really intense, and I can be like, right, I know that after I've left this wedding, I have, 11 days off or something. So I would say that's how I manage it now. And just being very disciplined with my editing. Like when you're a wedding photographer, I think everyone thinks that the job is just the day of the wedding. There is so much work that happens once I leave that wedding, to the point where I am still working Sunday morning sometimes on a preview or a sneak peek for my couple. So you can definitely reach burnout if you're not really careful with your diary, I think. Like I hear photographers that do like 100 weddings, and I don't understand. I don't understand how they're fitting that in, B, the editing and the delivery and kind of the customer service, as it were, afterwards. And I just know that's not for me. So managing my diary and pacing myself is what I've learned for sure.
And making sure you have like a weekend off, or 2 or 3.
Definitely. I think next year, just because of baby, I'm wanting to be far more balanced next year. I think I'm almost doing like 2 weekends on, a weekend off, 2 weekends on, a weekend off, so that I'm never quite getting to like 3 to 4 weeks of like solid weddings. I'm trying. Ask me again, Taryn, in like 6 months' time, and I'll be like, oopsie, I've booked every single weekend. So it's very easy to say, but that's the plan, as it were, right now.
Fair enough. Cool. All right. So how does Lex spend her day off?
I feel like, do you know the Play My Fave song, Do You Want the Truth or Something Beautiful? It's always what rings in my head when people ask me these questions. I'm like, do I tell you the truth, or do I paint this like beautiful picture of a day off that does not exist?
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
The truth is that we've got a fabulous coffee maker. So a day off, I make myself an incredible oat latte.
Okay.
That is basically my breakfast. So I do that, and then I'll like put a wash on and hang out with our baby and hang out as a family, and there'll be like a good lunch, and I don't have to cook dinner. That's a good day. Something beautiful is like, I wake up and I hug all of the children. No, the truth is they all like bomb the bed. That's how we usually wake up on like a day off. They usually come to bed, and it'll involve some sort of like walk, or sitting and watching the sofa with the baby is like my favourite pastime. He's completely addicted to Married at First Sight, which is very helpful.
You mean you're addicted to Married at First Sight?
Oh no, he won't take his bottle if it's on.
Oh really?
He's really addicted to it. So I have to like pause it and turn it off when I want to feed him. So yeah, that's at the minute a day off for us, or like a baby class at the minute as well, baby sensory.
Oh, cool. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. What solutions have you found that work well when it comes to spending time with your family and working on your business?
Oh, I don't know if I have found solutions. It's so difficult because I have such conflicting views on AI, really conflicting views as a photographer. But there are some AI software at the minute where a few buttons and it can kind of go through everything you've shot at a wedding and take all the like blurred stuff out.
Yeah.
So it just pulls like 20% of the photos you've taken as like, well, they're duff. So that hasn't got a face in essentially. So let's just pull that out for you. And like puts it to one side. So the solutions I found are like these little life hacks like that, where I'm like, well, I could free up half an hour of my culling time or an hour of my culling time to kind of make breakfast for us all. And I can set my computer to do that. But at the same time, like the idea of letting AI like edit a whole wedding makes me feel sick. That still very much has to be me. So I think at the minute, as I say, this like having the day and then finding a few hours in the evening to kind of just to chip away rather than like the intense day that I used to have. I used to kind of be like, right, I'm not leaving this room until a whole wedding's done, and I would spend 10 hours in front of the computer. Now it's like, right, I've got 3 hours. What can I get done in 3? Just to make myself far more present during the day for everyone. Right. is the goal at the minute.
Okay, so it's more you're more kind of like, can I say, like setting yourself a timer or a time limit, and then saying if I don't finish the editing within 2 or 3 hours, I'll come back to it tomorrow.
Absolutely. Whereas I did not have that. Certainly not before baby arrived in June. It was very. I didn't have boundaries, is what I would say. I have very clear boundaries now with work. Okay. That has taken 14 years and a baby to happen. Before I've kind of gone, it's not the end of the world if I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock and this isn't finished. Like, realizing that I can deliver it tomorrow and it's okay, sort of thing.
I hear you. Yeah. You know what? I like that because like I've got a confession to make. So last night I was up editing a previous podcast.
Okay.
And I didn't go to bed until about 4 o'clock this morning because I was editing that and also like editing other stuff, like just like general marketing as well.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, you know what? It has to be done like earlier in the week and making sure I've got the time to actually rest, recuperate, go to bed at a decent time, not at like stupid o'clock when the birds are chirping outside. You know,
it's so difficult. It is. I mean, I literally just before I came on the call with you, I said to my partner, like, when I was single, I would work until 2 o'clock and then literally turn around and get into bed because at that point my office was sort of in my room.
Yeah.
And it's so unhealthy. Whereas what I like now is I have my day, which I can, almost act as a stay-at-home wife, and kind of do all the things that I want to do for the family. Like, sad as this is, I really like doing the washing and like making sure we're all up to date and all of that's good. And then having this kind of 3 hour, I know in myself, if I gave myself a full day, I would probably do the same amount of work than if I put myself under a tiny bit of pressure and was like, right, by 10 p.m. I'm finishing. I will probably do the same amount of work. Like, I've always been like it. I've done it with homework when I was at school. That giving myself this kind of deadline in my diary has just meant I've got work done probably as fast as I would have done it 5 years ago, probably.
Yeah, maybe I need to start implementing more boundaries in my life as well.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Like, so easy to say it. As I've just said to you, like the boundary of kind of my diary next year. I know I will break that. I know I will. So it's also being kind to yourself when you do break the boundaries. Like you almost have like your faux boundary and then you have like your real boundary. So
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'll stop at 10, but if that's 11, that's okay too.
Yeah, that's some really good advice, definitely. Amazing.
It
Right.
is tough.
Sorry, say that again.
It is tough. It
definitely can be tough. Definitely can be tough, especially like when you want to work on your passion and get it done. It's like you have to show up for yourself as well.
Yeah. I think also there's such a thing as like mum guilt. I was kind of expecting a lot of mum guilt about returning to work or working on my business still in the evenings and things like that. And how I have kind of framed it in my head is my partner's at work all day and he misses out on baby all day.
Yeah.
And what's nice for him is he can come back and have time, just the two of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm almost like, well, whilst you're doing that, I'll go and, I suppose I'll do this thing over here. Yeah. So that's how it's working for our family at the minute. I see it more as like, well, I'm giving them a chance to kind of bond and have a few hours, and I'm not needed, and that's absolutely fine. Like, baby is fine in his day, like having some time with me and then having some time with his dad and stuff like that. So that at the minute is helping me in the evenings.
That's amazing. Cool. So I mean, you both get it's an equal share of spending time with baby, and you also get the time to work on your business when daddy comes home as well. And setting those boundaries are definitely important, and I'm definitely going to be implementing them myself as well. Yeah, amazing, brilliant. Right, so I wanted to know, is there any advice you could give someone who is looking to be an entrepreneur, who has a family, or who is looking to start a family?
Yeah, gosh. Oh, that is a hard one, because I feel like there's a lot of society's voice that surround us sometimes that, I mean, I can only speak from a female's point of view on this.
Yeah.
Like, we should be 24/7 a mum first and foremost, and all of this sort of stuff. And whilst that is absolutely true, I knew I never wanted to lose my identity when I had a baby, and I'm all too aware of people that have like a year off and go back to work and they're like, who am I can't remember what I did before. So I feel like my advice to someone that was wanting to do it was like, do what is right for you and your family, and almost don't seek advice from people like me, because what works for me might not work for someone else.
That's right. Right.
I feel like this whole concept of, I mean, I've never been able to do it. I'm cleaning when he naps, or I'm sleeping myself when he naps. So this concept of like, you can build a business in 3 naps a day. How? Because I can't. So that's also, don't put pressure on yourself with that. That's my advice. Don't put pressure on yourself. Your body's gone through a massive thing. This is if you're, you've birthed the baby, but like, don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Your world is going to change for better and sometimes for worse. Like, you have to hold your hands up to that. And yeah. God, I don't know if that's been helpful whatsoever.
It is being helpful. Definitely is being helpful.
I feel like it's so easy when you become a mum, especially a first-time mum, to kind of constantly be Googling and constantly be checking with all of your other mum friends of like, what do you do? What does your baby do? What should you be doing during that?
Yeah.
And I actually feel like close the laptop, put down Google, find a rhythm and a routine that everyone is happy with.
Yeah.
And just little and often, I feel like wins the race with something like building a business.
Yeah. See, that's great advice, because like, not everybody else's experiences are the same, and you're coming from a place where you're experiencing something totally different to, let's just say Sue next door.
Yeah.
You know, Sue next door might be doing absolutely everything right underneath the sun, and she feels that she needs to be staying busy whilst her children are away or asleep or whatever. Whereas you, on the other hand, you're just chill. You're just taking your time. You know, everybody is.
I think it's purely been because we've been in like family mode since I met my partner. Like, I met my partner's children about 5 months after we started dating.
Right.
So like when I met him, I knew that we were eventually I'm gonna just have to become a stepmom. You know, like fall into this life of kind of the washing and the dinners that they don't like and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So in some ways, having baby this summer, in my brain, he's a third, and he's just had to slot in with the absolute chaos of this house. And I think I have approached it very differently than if I hadn't been a stepmom for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And suddenly had a baby and had gone from like, no, you know, all of my time, every single hour was mine, to, oh my goodness, every single hour is now this baby's. Whereas I've kind of had this little bridge for 4 years of like, okay, well, I have to stop now because we've got to do X, Y, Z, or we've got to go out here, or I've got to drop them at a party, or, you know, all the wonderful things that comes with having children. So it hasn't been this huge shock to my business, I suppose. It's obviously having a baby in June means you can't work for the wedding season, but yeah, I feel like I personally feel like I've had it easy, and I recognise that I think I've had it easier than some people might, you know, to go from growing a business and having all the hours in the day to kind of work on that, you know, choosing if you want to work until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever it is, and not having any guilt. I suppose I've had a steady transition for 4 years into that.
Yeah. As I did say, that everybody's experiences are all different, you know.
Definitely. Yeah. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my advice with everything, though. Like, social media is such a lie. Like, ignore it. Everyone's lying on social media. Just stay in your lane and do what's best for you.
Use it to your advantage in very wise ways, you know.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So I have got one more question for you. Lex, you are a photographer, a wedding photographer, and I wanted to know, where could the people find Lex online? Yeah.
So you can head to my Instagram, which is Lex Fleming. That is Fleming with one M. So Lex Fleming Photo. I am on Instagram, and my website is flemingphoto.co.uk. I'm probably the most active on Instagram on my stories. I try and post every day, just random stuff of the baby and I. So yeah, those are kind of my two channels at the minute: website and Instagram.
Just website and Instagram.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right. So Lex, I would like to say that it's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. So right, people, that's the end of this interview. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of Lex's information in the footnotes. So if you do need a photographer, as she is a great photographer, please get in touch with Lex and she will be able to assist you. Absolutely. Anyway, guys, please make sure you like, follow, and subscribe for more great content like this. Bye.